Dear friends, today in this video we are going to discuss about what are the advantages of learning SAP FI module. In our previous videos we have discussed very clearly about who can learn SAP finance module and what are the prerequisites for learning this SAP finance module and what are the domain experience recommended by SAP for learning this SAP FI module. So all the details we have discussed in our previous videos. Now in this video we are going to discuss about the advantages of learning SAP finance module for the consultants as well as for the clients. So initially we are going to discuss about the advantages of learning SAP FI module. What are the advantages the consultants are going to get after completing this SAP finance module, and how this SAP FI module will help the consultants, are going to help the consultants to implement this SAP finance module in the real-time industry. So now let us start discussing one by one what are all the different advantages. First advantage is that once if the consultants are successfully completed this SAP FI module, then they will be getting a strong understanding of the end-to-end business processes and use cases of SAP finance module. This is one of the major advantage. The second major advantage is that the consultants will be getting strong understanding of the SAP FI implementation configurations, namely General Ledger configuration, Automatic Payment Program configuration, that is APP configuration, Interest Calculation Program configuration, Dunning Procedure configuration, tax configuration for both accounts receivables, that is sales, and the tax configuration for accounts payables, that is purchase. So these are all the major advantages for the consultants who has completed this SAP FI training successfully. Once if they have completed successfully, and they will be getting very strong understanding of the above discussed areas in SAP FI, which are very important for FI implementation as well as FI support projects. Once again we will discuss what are all the advantages that the consultants are going to get once after completing this SAP FI module. So all the consultants will be getting strong understanding of the SAP FI implementation configurations, namely General Ledger accounting configuration. That is very mandatory, because in this configuration the consultants are going to create the GL accounts and automatic payment program. All the companies will be running this APP, that is automatic payment program, for accounts receivables as well as accounts payables. In terms of accounts receivable module, we are running this automatic payment program for customers, and similarly in the case of accounts payables module, we are running this automatic payment program for vendors. And interest calculation program configuration, once again this is also very important configuration that has to be carried out for both AR and AP. Similarly, Dunning procedure configuration. This is also very important configuration, because in Dunning procedure, we are sending the Dunning notices for customers. And similarly, we are getting the Dunning notices from the vendors for the payment. And also, very important configurations in SAP FI module is the tax configuration. All the SAP FI consultants will have to configure the tax configuration for both purchases and sales. They have to configure the tax configuration for AR processes as well as AP processes. For AR processes, they have to do the tax configuration for sales, and similarly for AP processes, they have to do the tax configuration for purchases. So this is also one of the important advantage for the SAP FI consultants. And the next one is, they will be getting strong knowledge in analyzing the main requirements that has to be implemented in the SAP FI module. That means what? We have already discussed about the implementation scenarios in SAP FI, and this helps the SAP FI consultants to understand, to analyze the main requirements which needs to be implemented in the SAP FI module. And one more advantage for the SAP FI consultants are, all the SAP FI consultants will be getting strong understanding on how to implement the end-to-end configuration setup in the FI module. Because there are a lot more configuration setup should be done in the SAP FI module, which includes the entire enterprise structure configuration, that is organizational structure configuration setup, followed by different master records in SAP FI, followed by general ledger accounting configuration, followed by accounts receivables configuration, followed by accounts payables configuration, followed by asset and depreciation accounting configuration. So there are many configurations to be done in the SAP FI system. That too, under AR and AP module, we have to do plenty of configuration. We have to do a lot more configurations in the SAP FI module, namely interest calculation program for customers, automatic payment program configuration for customers, Dunning procedures configuration for customers, similarly tax procedure for purchases, tax procedure configuration for purchases, similarly tax procedure configuration for sales, that is output tax, and many more. We have to configure separately for both AR and AP processes, because under AR we have to do once again interest calculation program configuration, automatic payment program configuration, and then tax configuration for sales. Similarly, Dunning procedure configuration for customers, the AR module. Similarly, the same should be implemented for AP module as well. Interest calculation program configuration for vendors, automatic payment program configuration for vendors, Dunning procedure configuration for vendors. Similarly, tax configuration for purchases, that is input tax. So there are many more configurations like asset and depreciation accounting configurations, recurring entries configurations, and many configurations should be carried out in SAP FI module. And one more advantage for the SAP FI consultants, what they will be acquiring and what they will be getting after completing this SAP FI training is that they will be getting strong understanding and knowledge on how to design, how to implement, how to execute, and how to support the end-to-end project in the SAP FI model. So these are all the overall advantages for the SAP FI consultants once after completing the SAP FI module successfully. So in this video, we have discussed very clearly about the advantages of learning this SAP FI module. What are all the important implementation areas that all the SAP FI consultants should be very strong, and what are all the important configurations to be carried out in the SAP FI module, and what are all the important areas and activities to be carried out in order to design, in order to implement, in order to execute, and in order to support the end-to-end business processes in SAP FI module. So I think you people will be very clear in understanding of the advantages of learning this SAP FI module and what are all the core areas to be implemented in SAP FI module, and many more configurations to be, what are all the configurations to be done in SAP FI module, and many more. Now I want to tell about myself to you. I am Raja. I am having more than 20 plus years of experience in SAP industry. I have worked as a consultant. I have worked as a practice head. I have worked as a delivery head, which includes different types of implementation projects, different types of production support projects, different types of rollout projects, and different types of upgrade projects as well. And also I have got more than 5 years of on-site experience, both in Middle East and European countries, handling the Middle East and European clients. And regarding my certification areas and interests, I have done my certification in SAP Finance. I have done my certification in SAP Business Process Planning and Consolidation module. I have done my certification in S4HANA Simple Finance module. I have done my certification in SAP S4HANA Simple Logistics module. And also I have completed my certification in SAP Central Finance module of S4HANA. And very recently, I have completed my certification in SAP Business and Revenue Innovation Management, that is SAP Hybris application. So that's all about myself. So in this video, we have discussed very clearly about the advantages of learning this SAP FI module and what are all the core areas to be implemented in SAP FI module, and who can be able to handle the entire end-to-end FI module and all the stuff. So in our next video, we will discuss about the ASAP methodology as well as Activate methodology for the implementation processes, because in SAP ECC we are using ASAP methodology for implementation, that is accelerated SAP methodology for implementation, whereas in S4HANA we are using Activate methodology for implementation. So we will discuss each and every phase of both ASAP as well as Activate methodology in detail in our coming videos. Thank you.